everybody, welcome back to Become a Writer in 30 Days. We are still in the thick of our editing journey here. Today we're just going to keep on editing, and I'm going to keep showing you guys how to take what you wrote in your first draft and set a goal for yourself of what you want that scene to do. Okay, so we're back on the page here, and we are still in the scene where the police come to search the house, and Liza and Billy are having a conversation. So, like I was saying before, and I've kind of mentioned a few times without explaining it thoroughly, that I usually will set a goal for myself with each scene of what information I want to convey. So in your first draft, you most likely, especially if you were doing it right, you were just writing. You were sprinting along, you were writing things that do not make any sense, which is exactly what you're supposed to be doing. So the joy of this second draft, and kind of the puzzle of it as well, is to take what you wrote and pull the coherent story out of it. So the best way that I know to do that is for each scene to set a goal of what information you want to convey to the reader. And if you're not sure what information the scene is trying to convey, it's entirely possible that you don't even need that scene. So if you decide that you don't need one of the scenes, you can always, like, you kind of want to keep the idea in your head, you can always do what I've done here and just like write a little blurb about the scene. You can always add it back in later. But so we're just going to keep on editing this. So I'm down here, I have Billy and Liza talking to each other, and I am of course transposing it into present tense. So in this version, I have Liza kind of being more sarcastic. She's being a little dismissive, like she usually is when she's talking to Billy. And in this one, I had Billy explain to Liza that the police were asking about her, and like maybe that meant that there was suspicion on them. So in this new version, just kind of heighten the tension, I am having Liza tell Billy that the police also asked her about his involvement, and she is kind of not saying exactly what she said to the police. So now I'm going back to this conversation that I wrote between them in my first draft. So in the first draft, I had them kind of have this conversation before the police came. But I think it really heightens the tension to have it happening as the police are searching the house. So Billy had a secret that he didn't tell the police, and it's that he had actually been living at their house for a while. And this is important for like later in the story, and it has to do with why Liza and Billy like don't really like each other. But the reader doesn't know about that yet. We're still kind of just like teasing out the crumbs of what's going on in this situation. So I wanted to have them have this conversation about that, and just show that Liza's kind of breaking away from Billy. They had this united front where they were like, they had their story, but now they're kind of, the animosity between them is kind of breaking apart their alliance that they had in trying to hide things from the police. So I'm going to go ahead and rewrite this conversation. Okay, so we can kind of leave that scene on a little bit of a cliffhanger. I like to do that when I'm not exactly sure how to end a scene, but we conveyed the information that we wanted to convey. So we kind of met our goal there, and we wrote this entire scene. So now we are at a point in the story, we're still in the rising action. So I think I'm going to leave it there with editing for the second draft. However, I am going to break this down a little further in the next video and show you on the sentence level how to really polish up the sentence structure and the word choice and make it pretty. So we'll talk about that next time. Thank you so much for joining me in class today. I can't wait to see you tomorrow. Bye.